Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the streaming comedy show that looks at the news, finds the problems, and sorts out some of the problems. For example, one of the problems in the news would be J.K. Rowling and the issue of all the death threats. She was in the news today saying that she's had so many death threats she could paper a house with them. Firstly, obviously, don't send death threats, that's bad. Secondly, does she know she doesn't have to print them out? I'm just worried that you're making it worse, if anything. If you have to read them, and I'd say don't read them, just do it on the device. Don't print. If anything, you're making the bad guys win more. And if you do need to paper your house, just take the paper from the printer in the tray. You don't have to print on it first. If anything, covering your house in pieces of paper that have got your Twitter username will just give away details of where you live. And what's that? I'm being told, oh, that's exactly the problem. Okay. So we solve problems like that. We give it a go. I will be going through, if you watch on the YouTube version of this, which you'll see slowly scrolling past on the bottom these days, you can then partake of the chat. We'll read out some of the messages in the YouTube / Comic Solving Problems chat. It's nice to be back as well because we've been off for a week.
We have. And the reason we've been off is because, Steve, you and I were canceled.
We knew it would happen.
We knew it would happen. And whilst YouTube wouldn't let us publicize it last week, we were still able to put this video out to explain exactly what happened, which you can see here.
Hello, I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy, and this is Comics Solving Problems.
We're two comics who tackle the week's news and try to solve a few problems with live shows and new content every week.
Yes, but today we've got a problem of our own.
Yep. One of our videos has been flagged for a violation of YouTube's terms and conditions, and that video has been removed pending appeal, and we can't upload or stream new videos on YouTube for 7 days.
That's right. We've been... words fail me.
They often do.
We've been cancelled.
No, we've been suspended on one platform for 1 week, pending appeal.
Yeah, but people won't be able to see us.
They're watching us right now.
Yeah, but on YouTube, we can't load up anything new.
All the previous content is still there.
Yeah, but not the episode that we carefully crafted in January of 2021 is there.
You mean the one that neither of us can remember what we said and had to watch back because we didn't know what we could have said that might have been offensive?
Exactly.
That episode is still on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's not on Periscope.
Yeah, because Periscope doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. Cancelled.
That episode is still available on Facebook.
Whatever. That's not the point. The point is we aren't doing a live show this week because we've been cancelled.
No, we could still do a live show this week on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, OnlyFans, or at a gig. We aren't doing a show this week because I'm on holiday.
Cancelled. It's so hard to talk about the news, Steve, when we are the news. And I mean, the coverage of it was extensive. I tweeted it. You tweeted it. I think we really broke through. People really cared about what we're doing, that our voices were silenced for saying something that might have been offensive, and based on our appeal, which was denied, apparently was offensive.
We still don't know what it was that we said.
Well, I mean, we could have watched the episode back, but I mean, it was 47 minutes, and we took on, some people that were QAnon and near my hometown of Port Angeles in Washington State. There was a line at the end of the episode where we said, well, now we've really triggered everything that could get us canceled.
Oh, no, did we? Oh, okay.
11 months later, it did. So it's good to know that these things work swiftly.
Yeah, we are. I'm glad we got it right. It feels like we're victorious, even though we ended up having an episode taken off and couldn't stream for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But do you feel now part of the canceled culture? Do you feel like that you got a new platform and you can have what you can do an Edinburgh show about it and everything else?
Oh, definitely. Well, look, if John Cleese can cancel himself from a university and then complain about being cancelled, then we could take that one email from YouTube and really run with it. Hell yeah, baby.
I mean, it did happen at the right time since you were going on holiday and we couldn't do a show anyway.
And I went to Scotland. I went to the west part of Scotland. There was an earthquake during the holiday. So cancelled, I guess, by plate tectonics. I mean, just crazy times. They've really got it in for us.
Yeah. Well, they don't even have internet up there, do they?
That's why we couldn't stream.
That's why I couldn't do the show. So there we go. So it's good to be back. We're glad that you all have stayed with us, and we hope that you like the new look of season 4 of Comic Solving Problems with some new little touches that have been put into place. So very proud of you. Very, very proud of yourself there, Steve.
I'm very proud. This is what I did on holiday. I spent time with a laptop redesigning the layout of the screen in all the different ways. We've got all the bits, all the different. I realised after the event as well, we've gone very patriotic colour scheme. I didn't even realise we were doing it. We've gone red, white, and blue like France.
Well, hopefully we'll get on UK News,
Yes.
the new channel that's coming.
Is it?
To put the UK in news. It's the next thing.
Yeah, we've got the colour scheme ready if you want to pick up any of these shows and stream them on your news networks, because they won't be allowed on YouTube for long.
Yeah, that's right. Watch us now before we get cancelled.
Again.
But we do have some other problems that are not our own that we're going to tackle, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Comments are coming through as well, so we'll get stuck into those a bit. If you are commenting, we will say, even though the Twitter stuff's on the screen, it is better to get stuck into the youtube.com/comic solving problems one.
Yes, please chat to us there. Right, so shall we solve our first problem?
Yes, I believe it's across to you for the first problem.
It is there. So this is a problem with making your own jewelry, which I know is a big problem for a lot of people these days. I mean, it's a nice thing to do. It's personal. We're getting into the Christmas, the holiday season, the Hanukkah season, all of those kinds of things. We know there's going to be supply chain problems, so probably this is a good time to be planning ahead to make your own jewelry, because you're not going to be able to order something made by small children in an East Asian country. It's going to be difficult to get the goods here. Now, of course, shows like this, morning shows as well, other new shows, what do we do when it's seasonal? We start talking about seasonal things. We start talking about things like Christmas presents, and that's what happened on a news channel recently here in the UK, where the presenters decided to find out, between each other, if they were going to make some of their own gifts this year.
Really good idea, isn't it?
Yes, very good idea.
You ever made your own jewellery?
I did used to make earrings for my friends and family for Christmas, but I don't think they were that impressed.
Yeah, friends and family were like, "You work at the Beeb, sweetheart. You could afford to buy us a fucking present, couldn't you? What do you do? What is this tat that you're giving me here?" But it's nice. It's that kind of cross chat. We do that sort of banter, don't we, Steve? We have that warmth and that sort of little repertoire, if it were.
Yeah.
Do we?
When we say banter, we don't mean racist terms as well, just to clarify.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you should hear us off air. But no, that's banter. But yeah, we chat a little bit. I mean, have you ever made jewelry, Steve?
No, not yet. Not knowingly, as far as I know.
Not knowingly. Might be some jewelry out there.
Yeah.
But you don't know about it. Actually, the other presenter on this clip that we're watching, his name was Tom. Any relation to your Tom?
Entirely based the character of Tom Logan from Late Night Mash on whoever that was on BBC South. Definitely, yeah.
But this was his contribution to the whole idea of making his own jewelry.
I once made a necklace.
Oh, that sounds nice. He once made a necklace. Oh, that's very sweet. It's kind of sweet, for a man to open up like that. You made a necklace. Tell us, Tom, what kind of necklace did you make?
Once made a necklace out of teeth for a girlfriend.
What? He made a necklace out of teeth. Is he a news presenter or a serial killer?
Or both. Oh, what a great show coming soon to Channel 5 Dave Star.
What is it? You decide.
Reports on his own crimes. Brilliant.
Now, I mean, if you're faced with that, and, we have a more lighthearted show here, so we present each other with odd topics now and then to bounce off each other. But when you're on, BBC kind of mainstream news channel, what's the best way to react when your co-presenter has just mentioned the fact that he's essentially a cannibal? Here she goes.
I once made a necklace out of teeth for a girlfriend.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that's lovely. Would you like a cup of tea with that? Oh, it's the most English response ever. You've made me something nice. I've got a little bit different in my accents now, but you've made a nice necklace of teeth. Have a cup of tea. How was that?
And Irish ancestry? Certainly spent some time over there.
I think in Ireland they do that a lot. Maybe. But the thing is, he made this gift. Let's see, who did he make this gift for? He made it for his girlfriend. How did that go down?
It didn't last long.
Should have brushed it more then.
I wonder why. I wonder why it didn't last very long. Like, oh, thank you for giving me human remains as a gift. Tom realized he'd stepped in it because this blew up, obviously, on social media, as it would for some, very understandable reason. So Tom wanted to get out in front of the story, which is what you have to do with these kinds of things. So he got out there, and Tom explained, basically, I should have mentioned they were mine. We were both consenting goths at the time, which was acceptable back then.
It's still acceptable to be a goth, isn't it? That's harsh.
But no, there was a certain time in the goth community where you were allowed to give your own teeth as gifts.
Oh, his own teeth? So he knocked them out, did he?
What year is this? 1239? Give teeth. Now, I'm glad that he clarified that it was his teeth and that he isn't actually the tooth fairy, because that would have been probably something that you're not allowed to do on the BBC. But we do, actually, as Comic Solving Problems with our extensive budget, we have got exclusive footage of Tom the presenter as a goth back in the day. Now that's him after he actually just removed the teeth from his own face. That's why there's blood all over his outfit, because normally goth's a little bit darker than that, but he was using his own blood, as you do. But you have to think, this is insane. Whatever. I guess goths did that in the 80s or 90s or something. But who would make a necklace like that? How would you even do that? And you think, how would you even begin to figure out the mechanism of making a necklace out of teeth? And then you realize that the place to find out for that kind of thing is YouTube.
Oh, good.
Which you can see right here.
How to make a necklace out of wisdom teeth. To do this project today, you're going to need 3 common household items: dental floss, wisdom teeth, and a power drill.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. I've got the floss in the house. I've got the power drill. I'm a little short on human teeth.
Okay.
Would you like to come round for dinner?
Do you know what? I'm fine, thanks. Very good. I've recently rewatched Marathon Man, so no.
Getting ready for the Christmas holidays here.
I'll bet you are.
And I need to get some presents together for the family. Now, that video gets to stay on YouTube. One of our videos gets taken down.
Wow.
But, I know you're all wondering, there's a dude with the drill and the teeth. What does the finished product look like? Well, let's have a look.
And now you have your own unique wisdom tooth dental floss necklace.
That's lovely.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
That was a terrible necklace. Oh.
It's unique.
I guess it is. And, the gift of wisdom is normally something else, I guess. Yeah. But the
good thing is if you
looks cheap.
Well, but if you've got the wisdom, if you make the tooth necklace, then it's very tricky for people to identify the body later.
Good God.
So there we go. Christmas gift solutions. Starting off season 7 with gift ideas.
I'm impressed that we're a lifestyle show as well as an obvious news network now, thanks to the graphics.
Yep, exactly.
Into the comments, do you want to do some of your...
I'll
do some of the comments from the start of the show because we got some straight off. Tom says, cancel this filth. Agreed. Mark says, Series 7, you've lasted as long as Star Trek, Next Generation, DS9 and Voyager. And then Chris says, Star Trek was never shown on a Wednesday. Mark says, it's a good thing it's a Thursday then. I'm already confused. We've got scrolling banners. I'm going to get confused. Everything's on the move. And then Chris says, American-style scrolling newsfeed. Liking your work. It's not a newsfeed. It's a list of web addresses where some of them you can give us some money. Not quite the same, but very much. Yeah. I'm glad it's there.
We've got Chirons now.
I think we call them Astons over here. We call something Astons. When I used to work in BBC South East, they used to call them an Aston when you put the name up there.
Yeah.
But that was South East, not BBC South, where we never drilled our own teeth out to try and do makeshift jewellery.
I wonder what Toothless Tom would say about that.
I never used teeth to make any jewellery, but people did accuse me of trying to polish a turd, which would be another way of making your own jewellery, I suppose. Anyway, never followed up on those emails.
No. You did follow through. Anyway, Mark says we look like a serious news program, which is nice. And a comment by Martin that says, I see Steve has appeared on GB News and note the new ticker tape signage, perhaps for breaking news items.
And
That's true.
Yeah, we have the ability to do breaking news.
Yeah.
Next week I'll have it say breaking news.
That's where I was waiting for it to come in.
We can make it happen, but you'll hear the typing.
We haven't made it happen yet.
It will give away the secret where all of a sudden type, ting, breaking news.
There we go.
About later.
So you were fined 1 credit for violation of the verbal morality statute, a la Demolition Man style.
Yes, but we do a few more of those, and you get the paperwork to go to the toilet and make your own jewelry. It all fits together.
So we will be launching a mailing list so that if we do get permanently struck off YouTube, you can find us anywhere else, because we won't actually be canceled, because we just won't be on this platform.
Yeah. We're like Skynet when it goes to the internet. You can't actually track us down. We're so all over the place. Which is, again, we get emails saying that.
Yeah. iBogey was asking, going back to the tooth story, was it a morning show? Is he a serial killer?
It works written down better. I give you that. Cereal,
as in the breakfast cereal. I think it's pretty clear what he's done. It's a nice joke there. Well, I mean, we can't be bothered to write jokes like that, but because we don't bother to write jokes. But I mean, if you've given up all your teeth for jewelry, you're definitely going to be more on the porridge, I think. Something that doesn't require any crunching.
Something that's got a lot of sucking involved.
Chris Curling says, Eric does Mrs. Doubtfire. There's a thought to curdle milk. I don't know what that's a reference to. What?
Your accent, yeah.
Charlie? Oh, there's a cup of tea with your teeth. Lovely. That was quite good. iBogey says it's not acceptable to consent to being a goth.
Harsh.
Oh, poor goths. Brits popped in and says, guess I better unwrap the dentures I've got everyone for Christmas then. Got to make them into jewelry, Brit.
Or just wind up ones that do that.
That was funny.
That's comedy.
That's comedy. They don't make comedy like that anymore. You know what now? If they put those teeth on, I bet they get canceled.
Yeah. Offensive due to dental something.
Victoria says Unique is doing a lot of work there. I think that's the unique way of teeth present that was commented by the YouTuber guy. And Mark says he could have at least scraped the plaque off first. That's what makes them unique. I've still got the tooth whitener over here that my mother sent me after watching this show. So
not used it then. Okay, interesting move.
I'm worried if I use it, someone's going to try and make a necklace out of my face. There we go. Well, I don't know what Tyron's comment there.
I don't see
something about. Looks like a trigger word that'll get us canceled again. So I'm just going to skip that. I'm not quite sure what.
Someone's been copying and pasting stuff in to do with vaccines.
Yep. So we should get jabbed.
iBogey does ask a question. What's his next video? A lampshade out of a prostitute's handbag. Interesting. At home with whoever he was. Tom whoever. There we go. So we're fairly caught up for now. If you do want to support the show, the link is in the chat. And and scrolls by underneath us in the new way of doing things. So on to my story. Speaking of new things, new COVID rules and guidelines are coming in. Well, this is going to get whoever that's been copying and pasting very upset about things. There are some new rules in the UK. That's the front page news of the Eye today. Take a COVID test before Christmas shopping is the latest government guideline. And if it's a government guideline, it means we know one thing. Pretty soon there'll be a picture of Boris Johnson not doing that, because for the last week or so we've had lots of pictures of Boris Johnson not sticking to government advice. We saw him on a train without a mask, just breathing right in that woman's face. Have some of this Boris breath. That was just after he'd apologized for being in a hospital not wearing a mask, just breathing it out, just spreading it all around. And to be fair, he is getting better. Breathing on people on a train versus in a hospital, I can see he's taken a step in the right direction. Credit where it's due, Boris, and not enough people are saying that. That's why, seeing as we know that for some reason Boris does not like wearing a mask, he's not a big fan of protection, which also tells us why he's got so many kids. And it does mean that if we know that Boris Johnson doesn't like a mask, yesterday when we watched the now famous news conference when he said...
Yesterday I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig World.
That was a moment I realised I do not want to go to Peppa Pig World. Because Boris Johnson's probably been around there without his mask on, just licking stuff. The way things have been going, I'm just going to lick Peppa Pig. And actually, I retract that straight away. There is no way you'd be having a taste of Peppa Pig because we also heard this.
When presenting his 10-point plan to support businesses going greener, Mr Johnson compared himself to Moses.
So, probably not a big fan of eating pork. So, we're up to date with that side of things. The new rules are in. Surely we just accept it. You just do some tests, and then you find out if you've got COVID. If you do, you stay home. If you don't, you go out and you enjoy it. Surely no one can be upset with this. I say that knowing that as soon as people hear there's a new rule, the angry types will be saying things like,
"Hang on, you expect me to take a test before I go Christmas shopping?"
Yeah, I mean, why not? I don't really see what the problem is. It'd be good to know, wouldn't it? Do yourself a little test. And before you start talking about private medical data and all this stuff, don't tell anyone what the result is. It's up to you. I know there's QR, scanny codes thing, but I've got some lateral flow tests. No one's come round to check. So don't worry about it. It's good that you know and you don't have to tell anyone else. You're benefiting and no one else needs to know. And actually, if it says you don't have it, you can go and do your Christmas shopping. And if it says you do have it, stay home and just be nice and stop spreading things around. In fact, if you feel ill, you should probably stay home anyway. Stop spreading anything, not just COVID. That's the general message. I mean, the other general message would be, if you actually want to go Christmas shopping and spend time fighting with strangers who also enjoy Christmas shopping, I'd say you should get a test of your head. But that's just because it's not my personal cup of tea. So yeah, why not? What could be the argument about getting a test before you go out and doing some Christmas shopping?
What next? You'll expect me to take a test before I nip down the pub?
Why not? Yeah, same rules. Why not? Give yourself a test before you do anything. Just test. You can find out if you got it. You know, it just seems like it's good info for you.
I don't see why I should have to have some medical test if I'm healthy.
Do you know what? You make a good point, actually. I take it all back. You should not have to take a medical test if you are healthy. Of course, you might be asymptomatic. So how would you know if you're healthy? If only there was a test.
Oh, so now you want me to take a test before I even take a test?
No, I'm not saying that. You trying to sell my argument back to me as that is ridiculous. You're straw man argumenting me.
I'm making a straw man argument. You're arguing with recordings of yourself.
That is actually, it's a good point. No, I am. I suppose I am. I'm doing that. Yes. Okay. Fair point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And now, by the look of it, you're losing an argument to a recording of yourself. Are you feeling all right?
I don't know. Probably need a test. So there we go. I can't help thinking this is surely the least controversial rule that we've got out of all the rules. Get yourself in there and have a test. You're the only one who knows it, but give us a few days and I'm sure we'll find out other people start arguing about it. Are you up to testing yourself?
It's the slippery slope. 1984, George Orwell said, if they ask me to go Christmas shopping and want me to take a test to make sure I'm not spreading the pandemic, clearly that is the Wilson in the box. I can't remember the book. Really.
When you say that's in 1984, is that the library copy and that bit was written in pen in the front cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, most of the pages were ripped out and burned by people who don't believe in books because they don't trust experts. And that was a book. It's very tricky. But it's going to be soon. You got to take a test before you have sex with a stranger. That's going to ruin all the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, just keep your mask on. If that sounds eyes wide shut.
Not just a mask. Pretty soon you're going to want me to wear something else to protect me. If I were to have sex with someone I'd never had sex,
the sentence is just getting longer in turn.
What, you want me to wear a mask on my penis?
No, I want you to swab it and do.
It needs to breathe. It needs to breathe. But you're just going to have a continual loop test. You're just going to have a thing up your nose and constantly hooked into some sort of device. Just walk around and just beep, and because who knows when you become infected?
Yeah.
Madness.
I love that argumentative strategy as well. People say take a test before you go out. But what happens if this ends up turning into something ridiculous? That's ridiculous. Yep. Yeah, it is. Yep, that's how that argumentative strategy works.
These are the same people who don't believe in lockdowns. That's the part I don't understand. So all right, so you don't want a lockdown. Okay, what if you took a test? so that we made sure that people who were sick didn't infect the community and we don't have to go into lockdown. Well, that's infringing my rights, which is lockdown. What about wearing a mask? Rights.
Yeah.
So you just want a right to die. Yes.
Only it targeted just the people who are belligerent. In the comment section on YouTube, if you want to join in, youtube.com/comic solving problems, Victoria says, tooth necklace, new line from Steve's Sparkling Hole. For anyone who's watching this episode for the first time, you won't quite know what that is, and I'm not going to explain it. Mark says
Season 4.
The definition of chyron is a caption superimposed over usually the lower part of a video image during a news broadcast. Oh, it's not superimposed over it, though. Interesting.
Oh.
Are you going to get us the definition of Aston as well? Britt says, breaking news is more likely to be breaking wind on this show, to be fair.
Oh.
How very dare you. Have we ever done a breaking wind joke?
Maybe. Hold on. Let me see what I got here.
No, you're right. It's definitely not the first time you've done that as well.
What's wrong? There's nothing. My drama teacher in university, when I got a degree in acting, nothing she said was funnier than a fart joke.
Right. And that's why you got a number 2. I mean, a 2-2.
I won't do it again. This show stinks.
You got any more comments coming through there? Just try.
I've broken Steve. No, there was a couple there. Blokes up and down the country will be saying, taking a PCR test to go to Christmas shopping. Sorry, love, no presents this year. But those blokes do have their teeth.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
There you go.
As you keep the comments coming, and we've got some more coming in from Mark saying, blokes, oh, you did that one. Listening to the PM yesterday, I often wondered what happened to Rowley Birkin QC from the Fast Show. I was very, very drunk at the time. Interesting. There you go. So keep them coming through. There's your chyron. There's the chyron you're after.
Nicely, you snuck that one in.
Well, silent but violent. That's the way I do them.
The chyron's alive, right? So I think this is back to me with the story.
Yep.
When will a woman ever be president, Steve? Will it ever happen? It's not. It's probably going to be years from now. You know, we've got Biden, and then Trump is going to win again. I mean, maybe when Ivanka wins, but it just seems like it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But wait, while we were away, nothing to do with us being off air, it did happen, Steve. Kamala Harris was sworn in as acting president of the United States. She has become the first woman acting president.
Hell yeah. Didn't notice that.
Not bad. I know you didn't notice it. It's basically while Joe Biden was was under anesthetic for a minor procedure. But there it is. She did. And the question is how she became the first woman to serve as acting president. It's a big deal. It was a momentous occasion. And you think this is huge. It's going to be in all the news things. And then you look a little bit further. And she did it for 85 minutes.
Well, how long did she want?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's enough. I'm good. We've had a woman, tick the box, and we're out. We're out. I mean, it is a big deal. It's the first time in American history, our ancient American history, which goes back a decade and hundred and a bit more of 100 years, because a woman was in charge for 85 minutes. I mean, when is that? You know, you look smug about the age of America, but when's a woman ever been in charge of this country? Huh?
Don't make me remember it.
Huh? Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
The mines.
Queen and stuff. Queen's, because the Queen doesn't count because she's a lizard person.
Okay.
Although saying that's probably going to get her video taken down again. But it was such a big story in the United States that she was president for 85 minutes. You can see it here reported in the celebrity section of the news. It almost feels like she's not getting the respect that she deserves. but basically, whenever the president is incapacitated for like a minor any kind of surgery, there's an amendment to the Constitution which says that the vice president temporarily sworn in to take charge, and he was under anesthetic, and so she was president for a little while. So it isn't surprising once you know that, when you dig into this shot that I got from Kamala Harris's office, and this was on her desk. Really close there. Don't know why she has that exactly, but
it's a good solvent.
Might see another 85 minutes coming up pretty soon.
Might be longer than 85 minutes if you really make sure the handkerchief's moist.
Yep. So there we go. Momentous. News happened.
Wow.
While and a woman has become president.
Are you going to go into the details of the procedure he was having done at the time?
The colonoscopy? No. That takes us to a dark place that I don't want to go to.
I've not seen it. Although I do, it was in one of the newspapers around here. So this is the most raw version. I just need to find the story. I should have taken this with me today because I could have sent it to you. But, actually, it's quite early in the newspaper. So here's the coverage in one tabloid, reviewing the newspapers, that she briefly became America's first president while Joe Biden had a medical procedure. Biden transferred power to his deputy as he underwent a colonoscopy on his 79th birthday, the day before his 79th birthday. Weird present. I would say I'd rather have a voucher. Not for a colonoscopy, just a voucher in general. But there you go. Surprise. Well, it really would be, wouldn't it?
When you're that age, you'll do anything to feel anything.
And
we don't know what.
Yeah, go on.
Well, we don't know what Dr. Biden, Jill Biden, his wife, is into. She might a little bit of birthday pegging going on.
If she's a doctor, you got to say yes to it. The routine examination was done under anaesthetic. Now I've had people dabbling medically in that area for me, and I don't have anaesthetic. Well, I definitely could have taken a phone call. And I didn't, because I'm not that busy, and also you don't want that thing where you're halfway through a word and suddenly you have to do that. But I'm not the president, I'm sure he could have still kept it going. And here's my favourite bit. It says, under the US rules, meant that Harris, 57, had to take control because Joe Biden was unable to discharge his duties. And I remember in the American accent, unable to just discharge his duties. It's hard to do that when there's a pipe crammed up your anus.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they were giving him that procedure, because he was struggling with his duties.
And then, because it's not the first, it's not the first time this has happened. No. It happened twice before when George W. Bush had a colonoscopy in 2002 and 2007. Damn, he just kept going back, taking the stamp and getting the free one. But then it says President Donald Trump alleged. Do you know why this never happened to Donald Trump?
Because he's the most fit president ever, and he's going to live to be 200 years old.
I mean, maybe. On a side issue, we should talk about the fact that he's been given Taekwondo's second highest rank. Have you seen that story? I don't think saying, stop, I have an honorary black belt is going to help you in a fight. But anyway, President Donald Trump allegedly had the same procedure without anesthetic to avoid handing power to Mike Pence. That's commitment, isn't it? To not want Mike Pence to be in charge. Just do it. Just raw dog me. Come on.
I mean, I don't agree with Donald Trump about very much. But I agree with that.
That's why I think it is one of the best stories I've seen in the newspapers in a long while.
You love a good duty. Let's see. Britt asks the question, which would you pick if you had to? Human teeth necklace or colonoscopy for your birthday gift? I mean, you might get some stones out of the colonoscopy. Wouldn't you get like some... Isn't that where kidney stones come from?
No. Unless you're really going in the wrong way. You're going the long way around.
Maybe when you're doing it right.
So I must admit, whatever I had was the lower one. What they call it? Sectoidoscopy. I can't remember now. Where they just dabble in the first little entrance in the the porch. They just check out the porch. And to be honest, the worst part was just the gown, because obviously they need very quick access. So you just have to wear the. In fact, when I'd had this done, I was doing stand up at New Material Nights. I was talking about it, saying the best plan is to just wear the gown the wrong way round, because they'll still lift it up for the colonoscopy, but as you walk around the hospital, it's got everything's hanging out the front, and it's great because it stops people getting eye contact with you, which is the one thing you don't want when you're going in there to get your bum checked out. So everyone, look down there.
Yeah, but if they're not looking in your eyes, they're going to be looking somewhere else.
Nothing wrong with that. They're not going to recognise me in a lineup.
In your eye.
Yep. Let's have a look what we got. iBogey knew about the colonoscopy. Well, someone's got a Google alert set up.
And Mark Randall says maybe they didn't want to push his nuclear button. Yeah. And iBogey says they just don't want you to see his thought process.
Nice. Credit where it's due there.
Yeah. And Curleen says, in that case, has Boris been receiving long-term colonoscopy? That would explain the voice and lack of concentration at times. I mean, to be fair, I made the pegging reference to Joe Biden, but if anybody's been pegged, it's Boris Johnson.
Interesting. You think
it's in his name?
Carrie. Oh, I see. Is it?
Boris.
With pegging. Boris Johnson. Only if you're really not paying attention.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Right, you can keep the comments coming through. Check the, what we call it, the Chiron. Although we've also got an update on that as well. Supers are on-screen captions in news. Often the name of the person speaking, but you can have the date supers. They're called Astons after the name of the company which supplied them for long term. So these are Astons because they're not superimposed over the image. They are captions on screen.
You know, I really want to just pull out some of my own wisdom teeth now. That was...
I'm hating this so much I'm going to make my own jewelry. On to the next problem I wish to solve. It's Christmas trouble. It's that time when everyone's getting all upset about festive-y things, and my favourite news story about this so far has to be this one. The story of someone's in-laws who are charging them for Christmas dinner at their house. This put me right off, according to this. I love this story. I thought, let's do the research. Let's find out about it. Turns out, someone took to Mumsnet. Let me stop you right there. Journalists are just spending all of their time on Mumsnet. That's all it is, isn't it? Every week there's a story. Someone said something on Mumsnet, and now the newspapers have written it up. Sidebar, as a project, I'm not saying we should do this. We should definitely do this. That if any of the people watching would like to set up a Mumsnet account and make some stuff on there that then gets in the papers, do let us know if you've managed to find a create a story that then the Daily Mail treats as real. But anyway, to Mumsnet, where she expressed a frustration at being told to pay an undisclosed amount to have Christmas dinner with her in-laws. Now, I can see she would have gone to the internet to try and make people think, oh, these in-laws are terrible. But there's a big part of me that just thinks, if someone is charging you for Christmas dinner, you're a bad person. You just, no one wants you there. How are you not getting the hint by now? They can't say it to your face because it's Christmas, but they're making it pretty flipping clear, and now we all know. More of the story. She said that her brother-in-law and sister-in-law were hosting Christmas. I've hosted before. That's more someone regretting that they didn't charge. Basically, they're charging us per family, per dinner. And, which I kind of agree with, the woman said she was especially annoyed by the monetary fee because it would be going on champagne, which she won't be drinking. No one wants you there, Karen. You're not drinking. They are charging you for it. How are you not picking this up? My husband says he's on their side. That's not made me think that their argument is good. That's not convinced me that the in-laws are correct. Of course your husband is on their side because he's remembering a previous row that he lost and has still not let it go. So the husband's on their side saying they're doing all the hard work. Oof, that's going to cost, isn't it? Granted, but I've never charged them or would never dream of. It really put me off going, but of course I will go to keep the peace. No, it's the opposite. The peace they are trying to establish is outpricing you from their Christmas dinner. They're trying to use market forces, for crying out loud. So what do you do in this situation? If you're starting to have issues about being charged for Christmas dinner, get some of this. A secondary story, which I think actually solves the problem of the first, is HOGO, the hassle of going out. Now, we know FOMO, fear of missing out, that weird emotion you get when you think, oh no, I'm spending my time at home watching repeats of TV shows I didn't even like the first time round appearing on 5 Dave Star, and I'm wasting my life. Then you look at social media and you see pictures of friends and family doing things, and you're like, oh, I'm really upset. I wish I was doing that. And then you also think, why didn't they invite me? Then there was another one after FOMO, which was called I guess, JOMO, the joy of missing out. You've heard that phrase? That's when you realise you don't want to spend time with your friends and family anyway. No wonder they never invite you anyway. So that is why you had your two options: your fear of missing out and your joy of missing out. This is another problem which I think comes in earlier than that. This is the hassle of having to go out, and it's understandable. We've all been in that situation. You've got plans and someone cancels, and your immediate emotional response is "thank fuck," but you're not allowed to say that out loud. You actually think it. And Hogo sounds like something a doorman in Games of Thrones would say, but it's the latest thing that people are talking about because of its economic impact. A report came out saying that a large percentage of people just aren't turning up to restaurants, and this is causing problems. We've said it before. It's rude if you... These are people who make bookings, and they don't turn up to the bookings. Now, I've never really been one for going out anyway. I'd rather just not bother. And I think being more like me could solve this, because I also have the fear of speaking to people on the telephone, whatever that would be. So I wouldn't even get around to making the booking. That wouldn't fix the economic problem of it, though. And we don't need to, because, let me get the piece of research. UK Hospitality, a trade body that represents the hospitality sector, said that 15% of people have been prepaying for tickets and not turning up. So that's just spending the money and still not going for it. Effectively treating a business like it's charity by just giving it some money and not using it. We are effectively funding a retail trade, although they probably won't give us an acronym for that. It's farts. Britt, you were right. We do breaking wind jokes. We definitely do breaking wind jokes. So I think I've actually solved a problem on that one.
Nice. Should I do the sound effect again?
I mean, why not? It's not going to make it any worse, is it?
Hold on, let me find it.
It was me about to get all judgmental. Like, we'd never do fart jokes.
And then you remembered your next bit. Told you, my drama teacher was right.
Yeah.
Told you.
The fear of dialing out. Yeah, FODO, says Mark Randall. That's the thing that would stop you doing the booking things, yeah.
The cancellation of the booking. Well, because you can book it online, but then you have to cancel and call, don't you? Because you can't send another form to do it online.
That's how they get you. I would
every
have to
time.
see the full menu first to see what the cheaper options are. I guess I should be reading these in order. It feels like I've joined into a conversation halfway through. Let's have a look. No, actually, I think that's just Mark saying... Is that how it works? You'd ask to see the full menu first as a way of getting out of going to a restaurant?
I think if you maybe were having to get charged by the in-laws.
It's the Christmas one. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just say
It's
you've
not a
got
bad
allergies
idea.
or something. Just really put them through the ringer. Make them struggle. You're paying for it, but then give them a really dickish review on TripAdvisor after setting up an account for them. Nice. That's how you should do it. We literally are solving the problems here.
I mean, I would imagine it's really going to help her relationship with her in-laws now that she's had it picked up by the Daily Mail. That always helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what do you expect moaning about it on Mumsnet, which all they do is pick up stories from there? I almost got round. If I had time, I would have done it, looking at some of the stories that have the word Mumsnet in them on the Daily Mail, just to see. And it's always someone claims something on a web forum, and they're treating it like it's true. So if someone was to start posting false things on there...
Are you saying that someone would not post something true on the internet?
Have you seen some of the stuff we've done? we get dressed up.
Well, I can't see what we did in January of 2021, can I? Damn. Unless I go on Twitter, Facebook, or other platforms are available.
So I think we're nicely up to date.
There we go. Well, iBogey did say, wow, Hogo's way better angle for the next lockdown.
Yeah, just, make us all want to stay in. I'm perfectly fine with it. That's the thing, isn't it? That's why people don't like going out. We've just had 2 years of wearing elasticated waistbands. Why would we change? It's just the best way to live.
It's not quite as good for the comedy gigs.
Yeah. Don't get laughs either way. At least you've got a reason to blame it on.
Yeah, at least here we expect the silence.
Speaking of which, why not come along and see us live in the various gigs we're doing?
Yeah. Where are you this weekend? Anywhere good?
London on Friday. I picked up a gig on Friday, so I'm in London, Covent Garden. And then on Saturday, I don't know. I'm somewhere. I might one of your gigs.
I don't think so. Yeah, Friday I'm at Kingston at Crack Comedy, and Saturday I'm at the illustrious Up the Creek Comedy Club in Greenwich, which is always a bit of fun and a bit of a bear pit, and because it gets in that Essexy crowd, a little bit of Bermondsey, a little bit of drugs.
I was meant to be at the Chortle Book Festival. That was pulled, sadly, which is a shame because that was going to be the most highfalutin thing. But I was sent a book to read it before. I can't believe they think that I could have read a book in a week to go and interview someone about it. I was meant to be a guest host. It was good it was cancelled, to be fair.
I thought this was about your book that you had been invited to feature.
No, never got invited for that book. It's weird, isn't it, really? Still available online. And then I'm up in Goole, which I believe to be Yorkshire, to do a gig.
Goole.
Goole.
Jesus. There's no trains up there now.
No, but I do have a car, so it does help.
Yeah.
Britt says, hasn't Eric got a Mumsnet account? Scratches chin.
Well, I got kids. I think that's what she's implying.
All right, but you're not a... Do you identify as a mum?
For the purposes of the internet, I identify as a lot of things.
Okay. Mark says, Eric wouldn't have the biggest beard. Well, I see what's happening. We'll see where that's going. I want to get taken off YouTube again. Get Mumsnet attacking us. It's true.
Yep. No, they're very litigious, so we don't have anything to do with them, and we would never create a fake account.
No.
But I can log in under my wife's name.
Okay. If there's some sort of post that you read about being written up in the Daily Mail about eating bananas, you know what this is about.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're about done.
Here we go.
Give us some feedback. Do you like the new design? Give us some stuff on this. Post the link to places would be absolutely appreciated. Series 7. It's time to make this bad boy go huge. So the more you spread the word.
It'd be amazing. And we will be setting up a mailing list just in case we get canceled by another platform, just to be safe. And then also you can find out where we are playing live around the country. And so we'll get that set up in the next week or so. And then we can send you. And the nice thing is if you join our mailing list, we will sell your name to porn sites and make a lot of money.
Excellent. I knew there'd be some way of getting some dosh in this. Speaking of which, you can see it down the bottom. We've not really worked out what to do with the Patreon, but I put it in there because you can subscribe and do the
fancy.
Patreon thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ko-fi is always an option.
Ko-fi is great.
Yeah.
So there we go. Well, join us at a gig this weekend live. Otherwise, we will be back next Tuesday, if not the Tuesday before.
Oh, whichever comes.
Whichever comes.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment. Because we could put it on screen, where it says Comic Solving Problems, we could say subscribe, but we can't have something that cuts from this. Ooh, 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 ooh.